Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be doing the deck profile for the Blood Mefist Black Garden Dragunity Lockdown deck. Now I do want to mention first off that this deck is probably not good to build in real life simply because this card over here, Blood Mefist, is kind of expensive and you probably want at least 2 to actually run this. But if this card ever gets reprinted at 10 or something, hey, this will be a pretty decent deck to actually play because it has a lot of good consistency because, you know, as anyone that's played Dragunities before, basically making a level 8 monster is pretty easy to actually make. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. I'll explain all the choices as we go along. And if you guys want to actually watch how the deck plays, and if you're kind of confused on something, go ahead and check the link down below in the description box. But let's finally get started, and I'll explain the choices as we go along. So first off, triple ducks, 2 Acklys, 3 flanks. So I'm only really playing the Acklys there just for more targets for cards of consonance and, you know, other things to just discard with Dragon Ravine to potentially just add the ducks. It's not a bad card if you want to just make Catastor or if you really want to play Legionnaire. This build is basically made just to go for Blood Mefist. Now you can definitely, like I said, make a different build if you want, but I figured let's just go ahead and make Blood Mefist as fast as possible. So next up we play 3 cards of consonance. That's kind of why I play these. And don't worry, you can search the cards out pretty easy with Ravine. If you already have ducks, go ahead and add one of these guys with Ravines and go ahead and draw 2 cards. Hopefully you'll get one of these, or one of these, because you definitely want one of these in the deck as soon as you can. Next up, I play 1 Darkhold because sometimes your opponent will have a monster on board, and you don't want them to be able to run over Blood Mefist, so that is why you know, Darkhold is a pretty good card, plus it's Darkhold. Next up, it doesn't matter that you're technically, this is a burn deck. However, your opponent can't really do anything, so giving them some life points, making it last maybe 1 more turn is no big deal, really. Next up, 3 Terraforming. Don't forget, you can also search Black Garden with it. Next up, I play 1 Random Night Beam, then 3 Into the Voids, 3 MST, 3 My Body as a Shield, 3 Hand Destruction, 3 Dragon Ravine, 3 Black Garden, and 3 Mask of Restrict. So if you happen to match up against dragons, you can still have a decent matchup, because if you play against dragons, they really don't have any options. Blaster is about the only option that they can really have, and obviously you're going to be making Stardust quite often in this deck. Basically what it comes down to, even though I didn't actually do it in my video, is what you want to do is special summon Blood Mefist in defense mode after they have all their tokens, because, you know, Vajrana into, you know, getting flanks back several times basically clogs up their field and they can't ever have any monsters. So what you want to do is you want to throw a Blood Mefist out, and then next turn, because you have the consistency of Ravine, you could probably make, you know, another level 8 Synchro Monster. So I would recommend you guys to throw in Stardust Dragon for that. As far as the extra deck goes, these are the cards that I will recommend you guys to minimum put in. You can put in a whole bunch of other cards if you wish to actually put in you know, other cards in the deck, but really what it comes down to is you definitely want Stardust Dragon, because it allows you to not get, you know, MSC. You want to protect this card. You also want to not get Darkhold, not to protect your own monsters, but basically so they have all those tokens. But even if they do happen to Darkhold, if they don't throw out a monster, you can probably get it off next turn, because like I said, this deck is really consistent just because it has a whole bunch of draw power. Also, I do want to mention My Body as a Shield. You might be wondering, why do I play this card? Well, first off, it does 2 things, so it's kind of, you know, it has its utility use. Basically, it stops Darkhold without using something like Dark Bribe to give them more resources. Plus, what I really liked about this is if, you know, you are going off, they can't really Torrential Tribute you. I was originally thinking about playing Lance, but the problem with Lance is, you know, obviously, you want to protect their monsters too, so you want to negate their Darkhold. This is basically what this card comes down to. It stops Darkhold and allows you to go for your Blood Mefist play. But the deck is pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, if you are confused on anything, watch the video down below in the description box. But make sure you also don't be awful like me and special summon Blood Mefist in attack mode, because that will allow them to crash the tokens and actually summon a monster. You don't want them to ever be able to summon a monster. So you want to put Blood Mefist in defense mode, and then they'll have 5 800 attack tokens, which can't do anything against Blood Mefist. So, and obviously if you have Master Restrict, then they can't tribute, and at that point they have to have MST. If they don't have MST really soon, then you could just go for Stardust Dragon, and then, you know, once per turn you basically can stop 1 MST, which is really good, and at that point basically you've won the game. I would say there's very few decks, other than maybe something like Lava Golem, that can really deal with it. But even if they Lava Golem you, is it that big of a deal? Because you can probably outburn them with Blood Mefist. And you can actually, you know, go for something like Scrap Dragon, maybe pop the Lava Golem. So I'd probably recommend Scrap Dragon as well. But really what it comes down to, this is probably the bare minimum. Hopefully this card will get reprinted, because this deck is not going to be a deck that, like I said, a lot of players will be able to build in real life, because this card is quite pricey, as it is a YCS championship card. So just wait for a reprint. Once the reprint comes out for this, I think a lot of players will be excited to play this in real life, because like I said, it's a pretty consistent deck and it completely shuts down your opponent really fast. But anyways, if you guys have any suggestions to make this deck better, let me know, because I think we can maybe improve this deck by a few cards. Perhaps something will come out that'll just really, what it comes down to is I need some card that just like adds Master Restrict to your hand. But the reason why I'm also playing Master Restrict, you could also play other cards like Vandy's Emptiness, so they can't really do anything anyways. But I find Master Restrict to be much better, because basically what it comes down to is if you get matched up against dragons, they contribute the tokens, and you don't want them to be able to do that. And then obviously you have stars to protect from Blaster's effect from popping their own cards or whatever they want to pop. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Asian Eyes out.